friends, welcome, welcome. Come on in, make yourself at home. Hope you've got a cup of tea, get comfortable. It's not going to be a long video, but it is going to be an important video, and it's all about clarity. Now, I would say that over 90% of people who come to me and talk to me about their business say to me that if they were to get one thing, they want clarity. And yet I don't talk about it very often. So I want to really dive deep into clarity, why it's crucial, why it's so important to have it, and what can happen if you don't have it. I'm also going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself to help you get clarity in your business and your next steps, the things that you are working towards and working on. And also 3 actions that you can start taking straight away. You can actually do these straight away to get more clarity, because clarity is such a nice feeling, right? You know, when you get clear, when the penny drops, when you have that aha moment, when you have that light bulb moment, it's just a really good feeling. So clarity is a gift. It's a beautiful thing. I want to help you get more of it. Thank you for joining me live. Hello, welcome. Welcome, Gavin. Welcome, Marley. Welcome, Gaynor. Welcome, Phil again. Welcome, Catherine. Come on in. Make sure you've got a pen and paper. Those of you who've come to a lot of my trainings, you know that I love to give a lot of content, so make sure that you're writing it down and capturing the gems. All right, so why is clarity so crucial? Well, the first thing is, if you don't have clarity about what you want to do in your business, about who your ideal client is, about who you're serving, about what you're offering, about basically how you're showing up in the world, you can't plan. So you can't plan without clarity. And if you don't have a plan, you can feel really lost, right? I'm sure you know that feeling where you just feel lost, you feel overwhelmed, you feel confused. And once you get that clarity of, oh, that's what I need to do, that's what I've been missing, okay, now I can make a plan. So when you get that clarity and you can make a plan, you can share your plan with other people. So in order to be able to share with other business owners, with coaches, with friends, with your community online, with people that you're talking to in person, you know, if you can't articulate your vision to them, then you're not going to go very far in business. So to be able to clearly articulate, this is who I am, this is what I do, these are the kind of people I serve, you can use this in multiple places. How many of you are in Facebook groups where people say, oh, hey, what do you do? And you kind of fumble your way through it. I've seen this a few times where people kind of ramble and they give this big waffle because they haven't put time into getting clear on who they are, who they serve, what they offer, what they do. And so they kind of end up waffling and being really convoluted. And I see this when I go networking, and you probably have too, where you ask them what they do and they say, oh, you know how you just sometimes feel like you need to shine your inner light. Well, that's what I help people do. I'm like, oh, okay, so how do you do that? Oh, well, I just wake up the potential of people and I help them be the best version of them, and I go through the chakras, and I go, you know, and there's all these different things. They're talking about the method, but they're not clear. They don't have clarity on, this is who I am, this is what I do in the world, and this is my vision, this is my goals, you know, having clarity around all those things. The other thing that is really important, and why we need to have clarity, is because lack of clarity is actually really bad for our mental health. And I know that sounds quite funny, but I was thinking about clarity a lot today, and I was thinking about when you don't have clarity and you're not clear and things are like you're going through this bush and there's no clear path. I was thinking, you know, our brain is always looking for patterns, right? It's always looking to put things together. And when we're not giving our brain clarity, it actually lives in this fight or flight state. Like this cortisol pumping, you know, when you're in that cortisol and your heart's racing, you feel like you're in that kind of fight or flight mode because your brain's trying to look for patterns, but you don't have clarity. So that can be really stressful. So I think you are convinced on the importance of clarity, direction, you know, knowing where you're going and knowing who your ideal client is and all of those good things. So let's talk about how to get it. I want you to imagine a party, and you go, let's imagine you're walking down the street and a stranger says to you, do you want to come to a party? and you have no clarity about that party. You just hit here, do you want to go to a party? How likely are you to go if you have no clarity about that party, right? Your brain's going to go into this kind of wanting to ask all these questions. Who's going to be there? What kind of foods are going to be? What kind of music? Where's the party? Is it easy to find? You know, all those things. And without clarity, your brain's not going to want to go to that party, right? Whereas if you, let's say you play video games for 2 hours every night, and you have a lot of clarity on video games. You know how to turn the video game machine on. You know how to shoot the bad guys. You know how to do it all, right? You got clarity on it. You turn up, you play the game, you don't die. It's very comfortable. Your brain goes, you do that every night. I'm going to send out cravings for that video game and that dopamine hit that you get from playing that video game so that you keep doing it because you didn't die yesterday. So I'm going to keep increasing the desire for you to do that because that's the pattern, right? Whereas this random party where you've got no clarity, you're probably not going to go. And so those two metaphors just to show you the importance of giving your brain the clarity so that it knows that it's safe and that it can stop stressing out. I remember when I didn't have any clarity about who my ideal client was, I thought that I was serving all these different types of people. And I had a lot of fear around niching, a lot of fear about people missing out, all these people that I could help wouldn't be helped. And I remember not wanting people to not come to my events if I said that it was just for service-based business owners, that all these people who have products that I could probably help them with. I could help them with presenting, I could help them with marketing, I could help them with communication skills. There was lots of things I could help them with, but yet I knew that I was actually doing a disservice to all the service providers, all the coaches and the people who provided a service to people if I didn't get really good at just serving them. So the first time I put on a workshop and I said who it's not for, and I listed all the people that who it's not for, it actually brought up a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, and I didn't like it because my brain was more comfortable with this bigger group of people. But I actually had to push through that threshold, almost like going through a portal and coming out the other side and going, I can actually help more people by niching. And so when I got that clarity, okay, I help service-based entrepreneurs to grow a profitable business, to get to 100 grand a year. Those are my people. So much relief came from that. And it was almost like the dam opened and all these ideas started flowing through. And then I could start really targeting and helping these people and getting a great result for these specific people. So I know a lot of you struggle with niche and going too tight because it can be a little bit scary. But I encourage you to make those decisions to get the clarity in your business that you need. Some of you don't even know what kind of business that you want yet. You haven't launched a business. And so I want to give you a few tips on how to get clarity on the type of business that you might want to launch, the type of people you might want to work with, the type of offers to give them. So there are 3 questions that I asked myself that helped me have massive clarity, and I'd love you to write these down and use these questions. Hey, those of you who have just jumped on, welcome, welcome. Catherine's just finished work. Hope it was good, Catherine. Welcome, Andrew. Hello. Hey, Patty. Good to see you on here. All right, so grab a pen and paper. Here are the 3 questions that you need to ask yourself, and they're very simple, but we just forget to ask ourselves sometimes. Number 1, what makes me most fulfilled and happy? What makes me most fulfilled and happy? Most of us actually know this, but we don't always give ourselves permission to actually do it. So a lot of people who say to me, I just don't know what I'm passionate about, I don't know what makes me happy, I would question that. Because often we have layers of conditioning from society, people who have told us what we should want or what makes sense based on our talents and our skills or what we were good at as a kid. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should do it. You know, I'm good at playing the drums. It doesn't mean that I should be a drum teacher. I'm good at, what else am I good at that I don't want to teach? I'm good at moving countries. It doesn't mean that I want to teach people that. So just because you're good at something, you've got talent around it, doesn't mean it's fulfilling. I was not good at speaking when I started, but speaking made me so fulfilled. Getting up in front of a group made me so fulfilled and happy. I just had believed this lie that I wouldn't be good at it because I'm an introvert. So it's just this massive lie that I believed. So I believed deep down, I knew that I wanted to get up on stage and talk to people, but all these fears and limiting beliefs came up because my brain was trying to keep me at those safe things, like maybe for me it wasn't video games, but it was other things like going to the gym every night instead of maybe stepping out of my comfort zone and doing something different, right? So when you really go, okay, what makes me fulfilled and happy, regardless of what my mum said, my school teacher said, my friends say, my clients say, regardless of what anyone says, for me it was speaking, coaching, training, being a thought leader, having my own business. And no one really said to me, oh, you should be a business owner, Kat. No one really suggested that to me. I just had to give myself permission because it really makes me happy, because I realized I was the kind of person that wanted to build my own dreams and not someone else's. That makes me really happy. That's not for everyone. Not everyone is wired to want to have their own business. You know, and if you are more of a team player and you don't want to take that risk because it is hard work, then maybe it's not the right path for you, and that's totally okay, right? To actually go, what makes me fulfilled and happy? So that's question one. Question two is, what difference do I want to make in the world? Like what do I want to leave here as a legacy when I'm gone? What difference how do I want to make the world a better place? Who are the people that I can best serve and grow and contribute to? Because that's going to give your life meaning, right? If you're just searching for, okay, it's just all about my happiness, and you're not actually thinking, how can my passion and my gifts and skills and experience actually help other people? Because we're all wired for contribution. You know, once we've got the recognition and significance and the certainty and those things in place that make us feel good, once we've kind of got there, we need more. That's why successful people are often, you know, people that help a lot of people are often philanthropic, because they get all the money that they want and then they like, what next? Most of them don't just retire and sit under a tree. They're usually doing bigger projects, helping more people. So what difference do you want to make in the world? For me, I want to help loads and loads of small business owners and passionate business entrepreneurs to create freedom and never have to work again if they don't want to create six-figure businesses, to be able to travel the world. That's the difference that I want to make. I want to encourage thought leaders to have a voice. I want to help women to be able to sell better and stand on stage and own their power more. I want to help all small business owners to be able to attract a tribe, to set up a business that they love, that they can still have a lifestyle. That's the difference that I want to make in the world. What's the difference you want to make in the world? And number three, what do I feel wired to do? What do I feel called to do? And I know for some of you that might sound a bit woo-woo language. What do I feel called to do? But if you look at the movies, you know, most of these heroes, they have a calling. They have a call. You know, the call comes. If you've looked into the hero's journey and you've watched movies like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Wonder Woman, they get this call and they just feel called to it. And I got the call when I was watching speakers. I was going to conventions and conferences. I was watching these speakers. It was like I got called. It's like, this is what I want to do. I want to be that one up on stage, influencing people, having a bigger impact than the one-on-one model that I was stuck in. So what do you feel uniquely wired for? I knew that I was wired to be a leader. I knew that I was wired to be a business owner at a very young age, when I used to go door knocking and say and offer to do things for people in exchange for money. I remember knocking on my neighbor's door and she said, oh yeah, you need to rake my I need to rake my leaves around my pool. And me and my friend spent like 2 hours raking her leaves, and we didn't negotiate the terms. I hadn't quite learned that. And I remember she gave us an apple each and a 20-cent coin each for 2 hours work. And I mean, this is probably 1985, but still 20 cents. I remember walking out of there, kind of smoke coming out of my ears. So I got ripped off. But I knew I was always wired and called for doing my own thing, whatever that was. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have clarity on it. I just knew that that's what I wanted. Clarity is like a snowball, you know. You don't get this blinding flash and everything's crystal clear and that's it. The more clarity you get, the more it builds like a snowball. So you've got to step out, take action, get a little bit of clarity, keep moving, a little bit more clarity, you know. And as I keep learning, investing in myself, researching, as I'm sure you are, you know, as you seek out mentors, as you go to more courses, as you research, as you study, the clarity keeps coming as you keep moving. So those are the 3 questions, and now I just want to give you 3 quick actions that you can take to really help you get clarity straight away. Okay, number 1 action is focus on what you already have clarity about. So you already know things that you are crystal clear on. You might say, I never ever want to work as a construction worker. You've got clarity on that. You might say, I never ever want to work for this specific person ever again. So there's lots of things you do know. So sometimes visiting the things that you already have clarity on. I did this nightmare job activity. I read this really cool book called I Could Do Whatever I Want If Only I Knew What It Was by Barbara Sher that my sister loaned me. And she had this really cool activity where you work out your nightmare job. And for me, it would be stuck in an office with you know, really grey walls and a really stressful phone ringing, or working on the road in the middle of the night. Like, I just wrote all these things that I would hate to do. And you can write a list about the things that you really don't want to do, and through a process of elimination, working out what you don't want, the things that are no, you can actually get closer to a yes. So that's helpful. Focus on what you do know, what are like the things that you never ever want to do, and that will start to bring up some of the things that you do want by default. Number 2, revisit your values. So come back to those things that are really important to you. If you sit down and write, what's most important to me in life? I did this with a client today. What's most important to you in life? And she said, my partner, my family, travel, security, achievement. So she started listing them off. And so I said, what is it about family? Oh, it's connection. Okay, cool. So we came up with her top 5 values, and then I said, what needs to happen for you to know that all these values are in place? Because if she's really valuing, one of them was achievement. If she's really valuing achievement and not getting it in her current workplace, so we need to change that, because if it's a high value, your brain will go after it, right? When I figured out my top 5 values, which were freedom, growth, creativity, health, and love, when I worked out that those are my 5 top values, I realized that my current job was providing none of my top 5 values. I was like, that has got to change. So doing some values work is really, really powerful, because then you decide your client, your goals, you set up your whole year, you set up your whole business based on your values. You know you're going to chase it. You know you're going to do the hard work, right? Because it's aligned with your top values. Such a powerful exercise. And number 3, write down your non-negotiables. Write down your non-negotiables. It's kind of like if you're looking for a date, right? You don't say, oh, he has to be 6'1" and brown eyes and this, whatever inch chest. You don't have to be that specific. And I don't recommend that you are, because you might be looking over here and he's actually over here, for example. But if you say, well, I wouldn't go out with a smoker, I wouldn't go out with someone that was a gambler, I wouldn't go out with someone that had kids, or whatever your non-negotiables are, you have like your maybe top 5 things that you want in a person. So for example, they need to be a good listener, kind and caring. They need to be willing to travel, whatever it is, right? And you do the same thing with your business. So you say, who are the people I do not want to work with? And you can write almost like an opposite ideal client, like the opposite of an ideal client, like a nightmare client. So someone who's always late, they pay me late, or they don't pay me at all. they're just really focused on money. They don't care about people, and you just write this non-negotiables, like, I'm not going to work with them, I'm not going to do this type of business, I don't want to do network marketing, or I don't want to have a product or a shop or whatever it is. So you just write down your non-negotiables, and you'll find from these 3 activities you will get massive clarity, like incredible clarity. But the clarity comes not from hearing me say it, the clarity comes from actually doing the activities. So what I will do is actually post in the comments the 3 questions and the 3 actions so that you can go and just action them and actually do the work. So I'm just going to quickly recap the 3 questions. What makes me most fulfilled and happy? What difference do I want to make in the world? What do I feel wired and called to do? And then the 3 actions: focus on the clarity that you do have, revisit your values, and write down your non-negotiables. So I'd love to hear what's your favorite question? What's your favorite action? What are some of the thoughts or the insights or reflections that have come up as I've been talking? What do you think? How have you personally found clarity? Why do you think clarity is so important to you? I'd just love to know your thoughts on what I just shared. Anything that you're going to take action on, I'd love it if you could just pop it into the comments, so that this is actually going to be useful and tangible for you to apply and not just hear. Also, if you want help finding clarity, I have a few events coming up, and I wanted to share with you the events that I've got coming up and the difference between them, because I've actually got quite a lot coming up. The first one is a ladies only event, which is on the 14th of November, and it's called Secrets of Successful Female Entrepreneurs. It's going to be a really fun, almost like a party vibe night. It's not going to be just purely workshop. You're going to have a chance to meet a lot of other women and people who are exploring entrepreneurship. So you don't have to have your own business to come, just come anyway, no matter what stage in the journey you're at, and you'll meet some other like-minded ladies, and it's just going to be a really fun night. We've got prizes, got food, it's going to be really cool. So it's on the 14th of November. I'll put the details in the link. On the 16th of November, on the Saturday, I've got a full-day workshop called How to Create Content That Connects, and this is for all of you who are maybe already in business, or you want to be able to connect better through your copywriting, through your content, maybe your videos as well. I'm going to be going through all the different words to use and avoid in order to influence people. And then I've got Unleash Your Freedom, which is a full day women's event in Sydney on the 23rd of November. So there's lots coming up. There's something for everyone. I've also got a meetup on the 28th of November. So I've got a really massively packed November, and I would love to see you at one of the events coming up soon. So keep following. I'm going to be sharing lots more on these videos of giving as much value as I can. And the next video that I'm going to be talking about is all about the entrepreneurial mindset. In the last video, I talked about the 3 things that all successful entrepreneurs need, which is clarity, entrepreneurial mindset, and the right tools. So this is the first video in the 3-part series that talks all about clarity. I promise you that I would dive deep into clarity, and then the next video is going to be about the entrepreneurial mindset. So if you're following me, if you're on my email list, you'll get the notification, or if you're in my Facebook group, you'll get the notification for that. So thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful evening or day if you're not in Sydney, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye guys.